squeeze, but we finally got it out. We're gonna work on part 2 of this trailer. We need to go through and finish the inside of that roof. Wanted to get it pulled out here so we can get inside of it, and I got to get the hard top for the Jeep out. Just went and got some new wood for the roof, for the vent. So we'll start tearing it apart and hopefully get it all replaced out today. Alright, so this is going to get pretty interesting. So the grate in here pretty much just ripped out. All these screws are screws that are coming through the roof, holding the top of the vent in. So the only way to get those out, obviously, is to get up on the roof. I can't reach it. I can't reach it from the side. So what I'm going to do, and I guess we'll find out pretty quickly if that works, I'm gonna lay these like 2x6s across, and then I'm gonna kneel on the wood instead of the roof. That way it's using the side of the frame instead of the middle where there's nothing. So we'll get up there, we'll try and get the grate out, we'll start cleaning up the area up top. We can't take the wood out until we get all those screws out of it, and then we'll go from there. Screws. Let's try and peel this up. So there is our hole. I'm going to spend some time and really clean this all up here. We'll be able to throw that same vent back on. I'll throw some sealant underneath it, and then we'll throw the tape over the edge. Let me start cleaning all this off again, just like we did on the edge around the trailer. Alright, we got everything cleared off here as best we can for now. So I think we're going to jump down and get inside the trailer so we can start ripping all that wood out. As you can see, this stuff's all just completely flaking apart. So we got the new wood sitting over there in the truck still, so we'll go down inside here and start pulling all this apart now, and we'll start cutting some fresh wood. Alright, I'm going to set the tripod up for this. It's going to be a lot of noise. I'll use the one of these multi-tools to cut through the wood. And then we're gonna have to use the grinder to grind out these bolts. They're literally, the heads of them are squished between, you can't even see it, between the wood and the roof. So we're not gonna be able to get to that. So we'll grind those flush. I think we're gonna cut it right by that first pole, and we'll probably tuck the new sheet over top of it. And then depending on how, I might actually just take this whole back part out, depending on the length of it. I have a 4x8 sheet, so might as well put up as much as I can of it. I'm not going to really have another use for it for right now, so maybe we'll try and use up as much as we can of it. But we'll set the tripod up and we'll let that go. Alright, that went a lot quicker than I thought it was going to. So we got a clean cut across the front there. Same thing with a clean cut here across the back. So I ended up grinding those bolts out. I thought I was going to be able to punch them out with just like a metal punch, but that didn't work. So I ended up just using some vice grips and pushed the roof up with my head, and then just was able to spin them out. So what we're going to do is we're going to put the new piece in place, and then we're going to go up on the roof and we'll cut it out on the roof. That way it's a perfect fit. I don't want to worry about measuring and then it not lining up properly, so we'll just completely put the wood in and then just cut it when we get up top. The 4x8 sheet should fit in here perfectly. I shouldn't have to cut anything. And then, like I said, we're going to run it up above these rails, and then we're going to find a way to tuck it. I won't be able to re-screw it back in from the top, so I ended up getting a can of liquid nails. So we'll use that and some clamps to help bond it to the rails as well as the other wood, just so that way we don't have any like rattling or anything going on. All right, let's grab that new sheet of wood and we'll start putting that in. we go. Perfect hole. Probably throw some liquid nail under here too, or some type of sealant to help seal that together. But that this tape around the edge of it is gonna do will be just fine. I'll put the screws in, and then I'll put the tape back over top of the screws too, so it'll really lock everything in there. So let's go clean off that grate and figure out what kind of sealant and stuff we have in the garage, and start getting ready to put this back in. All right, so we got it all cleaned up. We do need to cut out a frame for this to go on the inside of the trailer to help secure everything. So this is the wood here from the old one. So let's cut some wood real quick. We'll frame that out, and then we'll get ready to put it all back in. We're gonna use this new saw that I just got on Black Friday. Definitely overkill, but haven't used it yet, so let's try it out. Now, if I measured correctly, this cover should fit right inside that now. Sweet. So we'll, this is going to be obviously upside down, but we'll end up screwing the vent through the roof and into the bottom of this, and then we'll screw that little cover from the inside of the trailer back up into it. That way it kind of sandwiches it all together. Alright, well, it is by no means a perfect square, but it'll work. It'll work good. There's some gaps in the corners, not the end of the world. That will go right there and sandwich everything in. But now that I'm thinking about this, I don't really know how I'm going to do this by myself, because I'm going to have to be on the roof. And I'm going to need somebody to hold this in place so that way I can screw into this from the top. So we might have to wait until tomorrow to actually install that and put that up. But let me think for a second. I might be able to make it work. All right, we got this old busted tube of silicone, so let's get up on the roof. Let's start sticking the vent down, and then maybe that once we let that cure, we'll figure out how we're gonna hold it in place from the bottom, so that way we can hold the wood up from the bottom so that we can screw it down. But let's get that in there for now. I'm gonna try something else. This stuff's not working. I'm just gonna toss this in the trash. Much better. I think I hate silicone just as much as I hate painting. Alright, well, it's not pretty, but should work. Let's line this up here and plop it down. Cool. Let's give that a little bit of pressure. And then again, we're gonna screw this down. That'll pull the wood up to it from the inside, and then I'll clean up all this stuff that actually I could probably wipe it off with a towel, and then I'll put that 4-inch tape over the side of it, so that way it really seals it all in there. Alright, so I tried a couple things to see if we can get this up now, but there's just no way for me to hold that piece up on the inside of the trailer while I can screw in from the top. So we're gonna have to wait till tomorrow. I'll have to do it tomorrow morning. So it's starting to get dark out, so I'm going to start cleaning all this stuff up and putting everything away. Then we'll be back in the morning to hopefully finish it up. Alright, I mentioned earlier I wanted to do a quick light check on everything, just make sure everything is good to go. So figured since it's dark, probably best to check it out now. So far everything's looking good. I did redo all these lights last year, but I just wanted to double check everything, make sure they're all good. Looks like running lights are working, blinkers are working. The only one that isn't is this, but it's got a loose ground in it, so we'll mess with that one tomorrow. But all the running lights are working good. And then the only thing I haven't tested are the reverse lights. My Jeep actually isn't wired. It's wired for a 7-pin, but it's not. Doesn't have power to the reverse lights. But I put those in new last year. They didn't actually have them in them when I got it, but figured it'd be nice to have it, especially with not necessarily how big the trailer is, but with how small the cars are that we use to pull it. So we can check those later, but glad to see all the lights are working on the outside. And then here's a look of the lights on the inside. I know I showed you guys before, but just to give you an idea of how bright they get. So pretty big difference in here. They're literally just tail bed lights, just glued up to the roof. And then I did just throw some of the liquid nails up across everything. I just kind of put a line across it, and now I'm using these little clamps just to hold it down overnight. I don't think it's going to hold it the best. It's obviously not going to be as good as having those screws through it, but at least it'll give some type of cushion between the wood and the metal, because this thing rattles a good bit. But at least that'll help kind of stick the two together. And then there's a look at the vent from the inside. So again, wood goes up here, screw it down, it pulls it all together. We'll get that in the morning though. But all right, cool. See you guys in the morning. All right, I think that's going to wrap up this video. So we just got everything redone on the inside, new panels in, new vent, well, same vent, but resealed everything. I gotta tighten these screws up still, but you can see that liquid nails actually held up pretty good, keeping these two boards together. So not perfect, but looks a hell of a lot better now than it did in the beginning. And obviously now the full roof is completely sealed in, which is great. I did not end up replacing this front piece where it had a little bit of water damage there. I'm just gonna leave that there. I only got one sheet of plywood, and then laid basically the whole thing in here. So we're gonna call that good for now. I got everything taped up around the top, so should be all good. Just greased up all the grease fittings, checked the tire pressure and everything, so everything's good to go. I think the only other thing I might still want to do for this is I noticed that this seal here is coming off, which I think I have some more. I might clean this off and throw a new seal in there, but not gonna go and get all that on video. So I think we're gonna call that good for now. We're gonna end up throwing the trailer back in the backyard again and getting the driveway all situated, but I hope you guys are enjoying it. I'll throw the links for the tape and everything down in the description of the video. That way, if you guys are interested in using the same products, that way you got the link for it. But awesome, hope you guys are enjoying it. Stay tuned for the next video.